Hello, UC Davis personnel. This video will demonstrate how to use Cayuse 424 to prepare a proposal for submission to a sponsor. As you likely already know, Cayuse 424 is linked to grants.gov and can submit proposals to most federal sponsors. The NSF requires submission through their system called research.gov. NASA requires submission through their system Inspires, but generally most federal sponsors accept submissions through Cayuse 424. So for clarity, during this training video, I will be switching between the Cayuse Research Suite and the Cayuse Sandbox called UAT for demonstration purposes. So when you get to this stage, when you're going to create the Cayuse 424 proposal, you will have already created and routed a proposal internally through the Cayuse SP system. You therefore have all the information you need to prepare the 424 proposal. But if you want to reference the information in the SP proposal while you're creating the 424, I'm just going to show you a quick way to access that information. So you would go into Cayuse SP, which would bring you to your dashboard. And here you can go through either My Proposals or Proposals in My Unit. If you select My Proposals, you'll want to click on the Submitted Proposals tab, search for your proposal, which in this case, I have already searched for. And when you open it up on the proposal routing status screen, you will see this PDF icon. If you click on that, it will download a PDF of the Cayuse SP application, so you can reference that while you're working in Cayuse 424. So now we go into Cayuse 424, and in here, you're going to look for the funding opportunity under the Opportunities tab in the top toolbar. The one exception to this is if you will be applying or submitting a proposal to get a sub-award as a sub-recipient to another institution that has received an award. In this case only, you would click in the right here under, you click plus create proposal to start your proposal. Otherwise, you go to Opportunities, and here there are a number of columns that you can use to search for the funding opportunity. You can click on a column header to sort alphabetically by that column, a second time to do reverse alphabetical. If you want to increase the number of applications of funding opportunities that are shown, you can switch from 25 up to 100. And then you can look for your funding opportunity. When you find one that interests you, you see here there are a number that have the same information. You'll want to verify looking at other columns to make sure that you're clicking on the correct one. And you can also click on the grayed out I to get additional information. There is a link here, a PDF of instructions from the sponsor. And the Sponsored Programs Office at UC Davis highly recommends that you read all the sponsor guidelines regarding a funding opportunity to make sure you provide all the required information and that you format it in the required format. So in this circumstance, I am going to switch screens, and where am I here? I'm going to open up a different funding opportunity, and it's an R01 under PAEO 777. So on this first screen, the proposal name is not the project title. A good thing to do here to help your contract and grants analyst in the Sponsored Programs Office is to put the Cayuse SP proposal number so they can more easily tie the two together. And it's also helpful if you, to find this proposal later, if you put the PI's last name, and you can also put the funding deadline, which in this case, I'll just put that. So the search for PI, you're looking for a principal investigator to show up in this box. If the PI does not already show, you put the PI's last name up here. But before clicking search for PI, also add the organization below. This will speed up the search so that Cayuse SP isn't looking through all of these institutions to find the individual you're looking for, but only looking at UC Davis. To find UC Davis, you will look for the Regents of the University of California, Davis. So once you click on that and you search for the PI, it'll be a quicker search. In this case, the PI I'm looking for is already indicated. So you click on the name until it's grayed out, and that's when you can proceed. The default indirect cost rate appears, and here you may not know which one to select. A good one, if you know the research will be done on campus. A common one is the on-campus organized research modified total direct costs. So that's a good one to select. And then you can check in with your contract and grants analyst to make sure that you've got the right indirect cost rate. Indicate the number of budget periods, the due date for the proposal, and the validation type is normally auto-populated based on the funding opportunity that you selected. So now you can create the proposal. So just like in Cayuse SP, you're going to navigate using tabs in the left column. Because this is an NIH application, each of these tabs is a required NIH form. RR stands for research and related. And you'll see that some of these forms have more than one page. This one has 2 pages, this one has 4 pages. Something to note if you're doing an NIH application is that for certain types of NIH funding opportunities, when the total direct costs being requested are $250,000 per year or less, NIH allows the applicant to submit a simplified modular budget. So there would be a form here that said modular budget, and the box next to it would be empty. In that case, you would have the option to deselect the more comprehensive R&R budget and select the modular budget. But what the Sponsor Programs Office recommends is complete the information in the comprehensive R&R budget, and that will auto-populate into the modular budget. And then you would put a check next to the modular budget and decheck the R&R budget so that the checked one would be the one that would be submitted to the sponsor. So from here, you're going to work your way through each of the pages of the proposal, filling out the forms that you are able to, the fields you are able to. These fields at the top, for example, you don't fill out because these are for the sponsor to complete. You would go through. Now, this person to be contacted on matters involving this application, this trips people up sometimes. This is going to be your contract and grants analyst in the Sponsor Programs Office. That is the person that the sponsor will connect with if they have follow-up questions. So to autofill that, you select the pencil icon and then either search for the person or pick them from the indicated list. So you're going to add numbers in here that didn't auto-populate, and then keep working your way through the document. Now, if you change a field that is auto-populated, you will sometimes see a red star that just allows the sponsor and the Sponsor Programs Office to see, oh, that this person edited that field, and that's okay. As you work your way through the document, the errors indicated at the bottom of the page, of every page, will diminish. And at any time, you can click on that box to see what those particular errors or warnings are. Excuse me. And you can then click on a field to find what it is that needs to be corrected. So one last thing I want to show you, well, 2 things actually. So the in the application here, the organizational DUNS number, the Dun and Bradstreet number, was auto-populated, but you may get to another field in the proposal that requires institutional information that wasn't auto-populated. And you can find that institutional information on an Office of Research webpage. And I'm going to show you that page now. You can find it at research.ucdavis.edu/about-us with a hyphen /institutional information with a hyphen. It may be good if you're going to be completing a number of applications to bookmark this page. And you'll see that it has all kinds of information about UC Davis. Going back to the proposal, one last thing I want to show you is in the R&R budget. This is a time-saving thing to know. So there are different pages for each year of the, or each budget period. So you can go through and complete one. And just as an example, I'll say there's another personnel who is an investigator. This person's going to work 12 calendar months. Their salary, requested salary, is going to be $58,106. Fringe benefits are going to be $2,000, say. And now, instead of having to recreate that information for each year, I can click this staircase icon and I can select all the information I want to replicate. In this case, I selected select all. I'm going to start with budget period 1. I'm going to go through all 5 years and I'm going to replicate. So now we see when we go to budget period 5, we're on budget period 5 and that same information is there. Once you've replicated, you can go back to the document and you can select certain categories that you want to escalate. And you can change the rate of the escalation. And I'm going to escalate it through all 5 years. So now we see there's been no change to the first year, but when we go to the 5th year, there's been an escalation. So that's a time-saving little thing to know. And one last thing I want to show you is once you've created the proposal, you want to be sure you save it, the icon, save icon. And then in your proposals list, if you want to reopen a proposal that you've started, you just click on it. But if your contracting grant analyst or even the PI may be working on that proposal at the same time, you can also just click R to open it as read only, so you won't affect anyone else working in the document. Additionally, if you want to copy an existing proposal, you can click on the green papers at the far right. If you want to delete a proposal, click on the red X. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any feedback or questions, feel free to email us at SPO training@ucdavis.edu, SPO training@ucdavis.edu. Thank you.